gotta do something about this ring light. Not the greatest to look at. Okay, we're not gonna do that. Oh, that didn't do anything. It's not working. Oh no. Or nor. I'm gonna put one of these black tank tops to use that I never wear. You can't even tell it's a tank top. Yes, you can. There we go, we did it. Okay, whatever. I can't hyper focus like this. Oh my gosh, I'm rolling around everywhere. I'm rolling around. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Why can't I stay still on this rolling chair today? I have sort of an impromptu video for you today. I was actually gonna do this last night by myself, but I figure why not take you along for the ride. I think today's video is gonna be on the shorter side, hopefully. But I got 3 new plants. Wait, 3? Hold on. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh no. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, actually I have 4, but I'm not sure I want to move that one. Actually, I do. Okay, so I have 4 new plants that I'm going to show you today. I'm pretty sure I have more. Oh, I have 5. Hold on. Wait for it. I'm thinking if I even want to move this. Actually, I think I do. Okay. Starting over. I was never here. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some of the new plants that I've acquired, and we're going to be repotting and sort of prepping them for before I go on my trip. This could be the worst idea or the best idea. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm already nervous about 3 of them that I'm going to show you today, and that's because I have no idea how to care for them. I historically have killed these plants in the past, but we're going to try again. So before we get started, I'm just going to show you the roster as usual. So the first one, don't laugh. Don't you dare laugh. Oh God, this thing is... fungus. You guys, these plants were infested with fungus gnats. I'm never going to get this fungus gnat thing under control. How are they so fast? They're so agile. Anyway, the first plant is a maidenhair fern. This is one of my all-time favorite ferns. I have owned one in the past, and that was in 2000, I think it was 2018, I owned a maidenhair fern. Went terrible. Terrible. It probably lasted about 3 weeks in my house before it turned to a crisp. But these are just in my opinion, one of the most beautiful ferns out there. It just looks so whimsical. It reminds me of this. Let me show you a photo of just like, you know, a mossy forest with like a little bit of the sun peeking through the trees. And it's got like that smell of the moss and just the dirt. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but if you go camping in the Pacific Northwest, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's unmatched. There's nothing like it. And this plant just kind of embodies that feeling that I get. And I love it so much. I love the growth pattern. I love the way all of these little leaves look. It is just so whimsical and dainty and magical. I love the way it moves. I love how delicate it looks. Every time I see this plant at a store, I'm just like, man, I wish I could grow you. I wish I could take you home. I already know that this is going to be a painful journey. I'm not really expecting a lot. My expectations are very low, but this plant was super duper cheap. So that's why I was like, you know what, it's worth it. Let's see if I can try again. It's been a couple years now since I've owned one, and maybe by some miracle, I'm somehow better at growing it. But of course, if you guys have any care tips for the maidenhair fern, if you grow it successfully, I am open to all of your advice. Wisdom me. So this one is, I think I'm gonna put this one in sort of a terrarium setup. Now, it's not ideal just because of how big it can grow, but I think this is a fern that I'm going to continually prune back. I'm not really wanting this to get too out of control. if I can even get it to grow out of control. I do think I'll be regularly pruning this back. And I think what I'm going to plant it in is this. This is Thursday's old tank. If you guys didn't know, I used to have I used to have shrimp. I used to have cherry shrimp, or are they called amano shrimp? The little baby shrimp. Oh, they were so cute. It was just really hard for me to maintain it. I'm not good at the aquarium hobby. Tried having a beta, that didn't go great. So I have given up on that dream, and now I think I'm going to memorialize my fish that passed away using his old tank. And I think I'm just gonna plop this guy inside of here and do something really cute. Hopefully. I do still have a little bit of moss and things that I can decorate it with. I don't have everything that I feel like I'd want to put in here, but I can at least get it planted for now. So that's going to be the plan for that one. And I need to either get an acrylic top made for this, or just honestly like use some my my lazy pole plastic and just cover this up to contain that humidity. Where this is gonna go, I have no idea. But anyway, that's the first one. The second one is this, I think this is called a white rabbit's foot fern, and that's because it's got these little fuzzy feet. I honestly think this should be called like a tarantula fern. This, to me, that doesn't look like a bunny's foot. This looks like a tarantula. It kind of creeps me out, but sort of in a cool way. I really fell in love with this fern specifically after seeing it on Daryl's Instagram. He has a really big one that he's had for a few years. He was growing it in no drainage, and it was sort of in this, like, I think it was like a, what's that, terracotta, like this terracotta round pot, and all of these little legs just kind of hugged it, and it was so creepy but so cool. And I've heard that this one is one of the more I guess less finicky. This is one of the easier ferns, so I've heard. And I'm like, well, you know what, if I can keep at least one of these alive, that would be great. The only thing is, I don't know if I have the perfect vessel for this, because I want these little legs to be able to crawl out of the pot. So this is going to be a challenge today. I've never really potted anything quite like this, so it's going to be an experience for sure. It's got these little weeds growing from it. They look like sprouts. I don't know what they are, but I'm going to have to get it cleaned up. This chair keeps clicking and it's bothering me. So this is the second plant that I got. I'm very excited. I love it a lot. I have no idea where it's going, but hopefully I can find somewhere good to put it in my house. I'm thinking maybe in my bedroom. Another thing though about these plants is that they came from a nursery. Well, not this one, but the one I showed you before, and this other, and this other one I'm gonna show you. They came from a nursery here that is notorious for pests, primarily I would say thrips and spider mites and mealybugs. So I don't think I can quite have these mingle with all my other plants just yet, but I don't know, we'll see. This one is kind of unsuspecting. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen one of these before. I only recently saw it maybe a couple weeks ago when I went to a nursery with Alice. It was in the outdoor section, and I was just drawn to, because like the sun was shining on it and it was all silver, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's fuzzy. And yeah, it's got like this beautiful sheen on it. It has like a slight fuzz. Oh, this is called a Dichondra Silver Falls or something like that. It's a creeping plant, so it kind of is like ground cover. But I'm kind of wanting to grow this in my silver garden. You know, if you guys don't know, I have an exo that has like my majestic, my soderoy, my soderini, my silver cloud. You know, I just keep a lot of my silvery plants in there, and I thought this would be a great touch. I at first wanted to maybe use it as like ground cover for the exo, but then I don't know, the thought of like squishing all of them made me a little bit sad. So I think I'm gonna try planting it in my old fruit bowl, because it's really wide and I feel like, you know, it can kind of sprawl and spill over, and I can just keep trimming it back. I've been wanting to like put a plant on my dining table just as like sort of the centerpiece, but I've never really found anything that quite fit. So I'm gonna try this. I don't know if I'm able to even grow this indoors. I don't know how well it's gonna do. This is a complete experiment. I have no clue the care for this guy. I've only done very little research. So I guess another sort of we'll see experiment. Oh my word, jeez. So this next one, I'm not 100% sure of the ID. I'm gonna have to look back at my text messages with Lauren, but she got this in a recent import and was like, Sherman needs this. And she just knows that I've got this love for like the longleaf plant. It kind of resembles like, I wanna say a hybrid of the Atabapuense, the Mexicanum almost. There's another plant I'm thinking of, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know, but it does, why do I always do, I always slap myself. It does have a slightly sort of reddish abaxial, kind of like the Mexicanum, but I'm not sure what this plant looks like in maturity. Honestly, I haven't done any research. She just took a cutting for me and I'm grateful for it. It is in LECA and it's growing really well. I'm not 100% sure I should move this yet. I don't know, but this LECA dries out really fast. Like I just added I just added water maybe 3 days ago and it's already, you know, like quickly evaporated, and that's because the exo that it's in is actually pretty warm right now because I've added so many plants in there. So I'm wondering at this point if I should just move it to pond. I don't know how long this thing will be able to like stay wet while I'm away, because I'm really only having my plant sitter come once a week. And yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit nervous about it, I guess. So we'll see if this one gets repotted, but I at least wanted to show it to you. The last plant that's a new acquisition, I do know the idea of it, I just don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to attempt to. But this is the name of this plant. I got this one recently from Alice, and I was not prepared for how, I wouldn't say dumb, I mean it is, I would classify this as an ancient dumpster Hoya, but like not really like super ancient, more just dumpstery, but it looks so sinister. It looks like a dagger and like it's so sharp. The leaves are very, very stiff and thick and rigid. I don't know if you can tell, but man, this is a really, really cool Hoya. Right now it's just in perlite. It is a fresh cutting. I don't know, it kind of feels like it's rooted a bit, but again, this perlite dries out really fast, so I want to get it into pond right away. But yeah, these are the new plants that I've acquired. I just want to get them set up for my trip, just because in the state that they're in right now, I'm just not 100% sure how they'll do. And I know the ferns honestly would be totally fine in the substrate that they're in, but the reason that I want to get them all out is because of the fact that they came from a pest-ridden greenhouse. It's actually made me nervous that I've even had them in my house untreated for this many days. I got this like 3 or 4 days ago, and I want to get this soil out of here. I want to give them a good rinse off and just you know, do a preliminary sort of like insecticide miticide spray. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get set up here and we're just gonna jump right into it. I think I'm gonna start with this Maiden hair fern. Part sun to shade. Keep soil evenly moist but not soggy. Mist regularly. Oh no. Feed once a month during growing season. Oh god, I gotta fertilize my veggies. I don't remember the last time I fertilized them. Okay, so got some new growth coming in here. I can already see a part that's going crispy. I fully inspected this thing before I brought it home, and there was like not one crispy leaf on it, and now I can see some starting to go brown at the edges. Guys, this is, I don't know what I'm thinking, honestly. I don't know who I think I am bringing this home, but it's too late for us now. She's here. Wow, this soil is wet. I'm just gonna pull some of like the dead leaves off. And oh my gosh, I cannot and will not ever get over how cute the new growth is, how it comes in as like little fronds. It's just such a nice sort of break from, you know, all the aroids that I'm growing. It's just like so different. We love a little diversity, don't we? Speaking of diversity, sorry, so random. But hold on, let me pull it up. I know that a good amount of you guys have kids because you tell me in the comments about your stories with kids. If you're looking for something new for them to watch, my friend Manny Jacinto, he's voicing a character on a new show on Hulu and Disney Plus. Let me pull it up. Actually, I'll throw in the little thing here. So it's called Haley's on It, and it's like a new series, and he plays, I believe the character is named Scott, and the main character, Haley, is voiced by the same person that voiced Moana. So yeah, it's really, really cool. Like, he's just doing some cool stuff. So if you're looking for something new to watch, it's already out, and it's definitely going to be out by the time this video goes up. Went out on June 8th. And again, it's on, sorry, not Hulu. I don't know why I said Hulu. Disney Plus. And if you're wondering how I know Manny is, he like grew up with Vince, my husband, so they're like childhood friends. Anywho, I thought that was really cool. I haven't watched it yet. I saw little clips and stuff, but I'm waiting to hopefully watch it with my niece when I go back home. Right now she's really into stuff. Well, right now she's really into Moana. She's been watching Moana religiously. And she's still watching stuff like Gabby's Dollhouse and stuff. I'm not quite sure how into it she'll be. I think it's like hard for her to like open up to a new show because she just kind of likes what she likes, but yeah, it would be cool to watch that with her. Anywho, I was going to transition this to pond, but honestly, these roots are so fine, really, really just kind of packed with soil. But I just feel like this plant would do so good in pond. I mean, is this dumb? Am I making the wrong choice right now? Oh gosh. Because I do want to do no drainage, but I don't know why I don't want to do soil with this. I really, really want to try and do pond with it. How about I soak this in water? I'll soak this root ball in water and kind of just see how much it kind of cleans up. My hope was that I could do pond because I think I'm going to stick with soil for the kangaroo fern. Kangaroo fern? Why did I say that? The rabbit's foot fern? Is there something called a kangaroo fern? Or did I just make that up? Oh my gosh. Okay, lots of root breakage. I'm already scared. I had a brain fart. I'm not moving this to pond because I'm putting it in this terrarium and I'm not gonna fill that with pond. So I'm still gonna soak these roots because if there are any lingering pesties in here, I want them out. I could do even a little bit of hydrogen peroxide just to give the pests a little bit of spice and flavors. But I'm gonna leave this in here for now, and I think I'm gonna pot this one last since we're doing like a whole terrarium setup. Okay, what am I potting this in? I have an idea of what I want to pot it in. I just don't know if it's gonna fit. This is the vessel I want to pot it in because I like the shape of it, and I kind of like the idea of the little arms and whatever coming out of this. I think it's too big, but I guess we won't know until we get it out of here, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so much soil in here. I'm hoping that this like root ball is small and that they just put it in a really, really big pot. I can't remember if I've ever owned this plant before. I know that I owned a staghorn fern. Oh my gosh, there are nuts flying out of this thing. Did I get it? Oh, I did. I owned a staghorn fern, and then I honestly think it's called a kangaroo fern. I think that's why I said it. And those ones are relatively easy to keep. It's just, it started to die after I went home for a trip, and then I came back from that trip, and then the pandemic happened and I got highly depressed and I just let it die. And the setup that one was in was no drainage. I put leca down at the bottom and then it was just literally growing in sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss and then sheet moss on top. And it actually loved that setup a lot. But yeah, life happened, pandemic happened, and it just tanked. But I did keep them alive for a good period of time and it actually grew quite a bit. I'm hoping that this plant kind of gives me like a similar experience in that I didn't really have any issues with like leaves that were crisping and stuff. I don't quite know, okay, because I know that like my friend grows ferns pretty well in low humidity. Like she just had one in her living room. I think it was the asparagus fern. She was growing it in her living room. Oh my gosh, that thing was a beast. And she was growing it in no drainage for years. Never like misted it, never gave it humidity. I think she just made sure it regularly had water. But then some people say like, no, if you don't give your ferns humidity, it's gonna hate you. And I'm not really planning to grow this in an area with like direct sun or anything. I kind of just want to give it sort of filtered light or like diffused light, indirect light, whatever. But we'll have to see. So yeah, this root ball, I mean, I'm sure I have a ton of root breakage. I just can't see it because fern roots are black and brown. But I do think I'll be able to squeeze it into this pot because like it's kind of shaved down quite a bit. Here's what I'm thinking. Leca reserve down at the bottom and then a denser aeroid mix. I was kind of inclined to just do straight mix from the bag, but I'm not giving this greenhouse conditions like they would at the nursery that I got it from. So I think something with a little bit more amendments than it had before will be better. But what do I know? I'm not the one to ask anything about ferns. What I will be able to tell you is how quickly this declines later. I mean, of course, I'm hoping for the best, but the pessimist in me, she's in the forefront right now for sure. So again, I'm using Lauren's leca that you can get at the shop. I am trying to convince her to get it up on the website. Maybe by the time this video goes up, she will have it on the website. But again, I love it because it's so light. Like, if this was filled with the old leca that I had, there's no way I'd be able to lift it with one hand. Super light. I would say even more porous than the traditional leca, the one that's kind of like that burnt sort of brown, or not burnt, but it's like that rich brown color. So I'm not going to do a huge reserve just like this because it's not a huge vessel. I still want, you know, the roots to be able to move around in there. We will see. And I'm going to be using, gosh, what do I want to use? Great White or Dynamico? Oh, I also have Billions from Alice, but nah. I only want to use a little bit of her Billions. I don't want to use too much because I was going to use it for an experiment. So I think I'll try mine. I think I'll do Dynamico. I haven't used this in a while. I am using it on my herbs, my veggies and herbs right now. And it seems to be, you know, doing its thing. But yeah, I have I have a lot of this bag left, so I want to use it because I'm going to be restocking on my TPS Billions when I go home. Please fit. I have to also fit all these little arms outside of the vessel. I feel like you guys can't see anything. You're so far. So I'm just like sprinkling a little bit on the root ball. I'm going to try and bring you guys closer. Whenever I bring you guys too close, I always end up hitting the tripod with the table, and then like it just ruins everything. Okay, so this little arm has roots. So I'm gonna try and stick that in. Got all these little guys here that I'm gonna try and poke out. I feel like there are some arms that are just gonna have to go inside though, because they're not quite long enough to pull out, but maybe they'll find maybe they'll find their way. So nervous for this little guy. Oh my gosh. It's like Everything does so well at the stores that they're at. Like even if it's just at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, like it can live there for so long. And then the second you take it home, it just hates everything. And it's like they barely even care for it there. It's just under like the fluorescent lighting of the store. Or maybe this is one that I keep on my dining table. I wonder how it would do there. It's definitely cooler out there than my bedroom, because my bedroom gets pretty hot, especially in the summer. And then at least it's air conditioned where it is. And I'm assuming more humid just based on like, you know, cooking in the kitchen and all the steam and stuff. And this would be a cute dining table plant. But then where would I put my Dichondra Silver Falls? Is that what I feel like I'm just making up names. I'm saying it with my entire chest. I don't know where I would put that. I buy all these plants and then I'm like, I just feel like I have an infinite amount of space. Truth be told, I have no idea where I would put it if I didn't put it on my dining table. There's a pickle. We're in a pickle now. I hope that this is deep enough. I can see a little bit of the root ball sort of like sticking out from the top, but fingers crossed it kind of just like roots deeper and that won't be an issue. Because if I put it any deeper, the little feet are not going to be sticking out of the pot. I mean, technically it doesn't have to be, but I want it to. That's why I really like this plant. I really like it for the little feet. I honestly feel like that's as good as it's gonna get for now. I really like it. Oh my gosh, I would just die if these little legs got longer and like completely wrapped itself around this pot. That would be so freaking cool. But my goodness, fingers crossed for this little cutie. I am going to stick this in the shower and give it a little rinse down, and then I'm probably gonna just spray it with my Safer's End All. I've been switching back and forth between like 4 different miticides and insecticides. But I just recently ran out of Captain Jack's. I'm running very low on End All. I just need to restock on all of my pest stuff because I've been going through it like crazy because of these damn spider mites. I think the next one that we'll do is the Dichondra Silver Falls is what it's called. I also don't know if, because on some websites this one said it was a perennial, and then on some websites it said an annual, and I'm wondering if it just depends on where you're growing it. But I also don't know if this thing is just gonna completely like die back at some point. I think that this is gonna be too tall. It's really, really rooty. Look at that. I don't wanna loosen it up. I don't think I'm gonna try and completely untangle this. I was hoping to like shave off a little bit because it's gonna be really tall for this vessel, but I think it might go into complete shock if I try and untangle it. This doesn't seem like a plant that you're supposed to really, really untangle. Like you just stick it straight into the ground or something. I mean, I guess it's fine, but now the roots are sitting completely at the bottom and I wanted to raise it a little bit. Ideally, I would have loved to put it in the vessel that I have my Silver Glory, why did I say that? My Summer Glory in. But she's really getting established in there now, so I can't do that to her. That's so mean. So what do I do? What do I do? What would Jesus do? You know what? I'm just gonna say F it, and I'm just gonna pot it. I'll just be very careful with the watering. I will tell my plant sitter to be very careful with the watering. Where's my soil? Oh, my brain is not here today. This is what happens when I try and just, it's pretty early right now. I literally woke up, I made coffee, I got ready, and I started filming, whereas I usually film midday or the end of the day, because then my brain's kind of like sort of tooting along. I am barely here right now. What I'll do is just do a tiny layer of leca down at the bottom. By the way, I'm just spitting out thoughts here. I am so excited for my upcoming trip to California. I know it's all I've been talking about in these videos, but I'm gonna miss my plants so much. That's kind of the one good thing about this hobby, is that like leaving California is always so sad for me. But at the same time, like I want to go home because I'm so anxious to see all the new growth, and I have so much happening right now. Like I have a new leaf on my Burley Marx's Flame coming in. My Veitchii leaf is hardening off, and Veitchiis take forever to harden on the new leaves. And just so many things are like exploding with growth that like I know when I come back there's going to be so much to kind of oogle over. And I'm hoping if I get the willpower, I want to film sort of like a first reaction video, like coming home to see new growth, and do like a new growth video. But you know, when you come home from a trip, you like drop all your things, and then the first thing you're doing is just like going through your plants and ooh ah. So this time I'm really going to try and not do that. When I get home, I'm gonna focus. Then bright and early, I'll just start filming right away to actually film my first impressions. I think this is gonna be too high. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh no. Oh my gosh, it's so high. I could literally just like rip off some of this bottom. It would be totally fine. I could root trim, but it's like a plant that I'm not like familiar with, you know? If this was a philodendron or whatever, I would be totally fine just ripping this bottom part off. This is like $2, so if it dies, you know, we got to experience it, and that will be that. And then we will know. Dichondra doesn't like root trimming. And that's how you learn. It's Alice. I've shaved off a bit of the roots, and now I can lay it more flat onto this bowl, or into this bowl. Still has a decent root system. Now it's getting easier to kind of pull the soil away. Okay, I don't want to do too much. So I'm going to sprinkle some mycorrhizal inoculants on this guy. And somebody had commented, like, how do I sprinkle Dynamico on the roots because it falls off? And they said that it came in granules. I didn't know that Dynamico had granule form. I don't know if you can tell, but this is like, it's like a powder, a very fine powder, so it just kind of clings on to everything. So if you're buying the Dynamico brand, I would suggest making sure that it's the powder form and not the granule form, because I don't know how to use that. I'm not sure I don't think it's water soluble to my recollection. So I'm sorry if you bought Dynamico because you saw it on this channel. I would have mentioned to make sure to get the powder form. If I knew that it came in granule form, I had no idea. I mean, I'm sure it works just the same. You maybe just sprinkle it at the bottom of the root ball, or like where you're gonna plant it, you know, and you don't really need to sprinkle it directly on the root itself. And all of these little trailing guys, I'm gonna make sure to sit on top of the soil so that it continues to kind of root and creep along the top. But where the frig am I gonna put this? I bet I could grow it on my balcony for the summer, but the reason I don't like growing plants on the balcony that have to come in non-warm times of the year is because I live in a very pesty place, and if I bring in anything from outside, it's gonna have pests. So I don't want to do that, which is why I don't really have anything out on the balcony besides my wildflowers, which I can just keep out there all year. It'll die back and then come back. And then one of my palms. I don't know exactly what palm it is. I've shown it in my houseplant tour. That one I just kind of spray and I keep in the shower for about a month before I kind of put it back in my living room. But the only pest that one has really ever had is scale, and I was able to somehow get that under control when I first got it, which was I think it was 2 years ago now that I got that plant, or maybe a year and a half. But other than that, I've never had any other pest on it besides those. I kind of want to top this with some kind of like gravel, but then I don't know if the plant will like that very much. I just don't really like the idea of having so much like exposed soil, you know? But I do want to fill it to the very top just to make sure all of these new guys coming in have something to hold on to. And I eventually want it to spill over the edges. But would I be able to do some kind of gravel? I don't even have any gravel. Oh my god, this ring light's blinding me. Why do I feel like I've been filling this forever and it's not getting any fuller? Let's see what Miss Alice is saying. I forgot to tell you, I used nail polish remover on my monstera to get rid of scale, and it worked like a charm. Oh, Alice. You never know what her message is gonna say. You know, when you get a text from her, it could be anything. It really could be anything. Ariana grenade. I'm dead. Okay, I really want to put some, if this ring light doesn't stop, knock it off, knock it off. Okay, so on my to-do list, pick up some gravel because I really am not liking all of this exposed soil. It's giving me the ick for some reason. I would love to get like maybe a black pebble, like, you know, the aquarium rocks, the really small ones. I just don't want it to be too heavy at the same time, and I'm not gonna like completely cover it because I want, you know, water to be able to like come back up and evaporate and stuff. I'm not trying to choke this thing out. But I don't have any rocks right now, but this is gonna have to do for now, and I think maybe I'll stick like a little, do I have one in here? Come on, Shem. Where are you? A little mushroom. I just got these little mushrooms from Jing. These little red mushrooms. Frick. I think they're all in my living room. Anyway, I'll do something to kind of like decorate it and make it look a little cuter. Maybe if I get all this stuff before my trip, I will do an update on how I kind of style this, but at least we've got the bones in now, and hopefully she takes the transition well because I did trim off a good amount of roots. But, oh, she's so cute. I actually really, really like it in this bowl. But where is she gonna go? That's a problem for future Sherman. All right, let's do this maidenhair fern. I'm gonna have to scoot back a smidge because we're working with a whole ass terrarium. You know what? I have gravel in this terrarium. So I'm gonna take some out and put some on top of here because I actually don't need this gravel in here because I'm gonna fill it with soil. So right now in the fish tank, whoa. In the fish tank, I have stratum down at the bottom, which I don't mind leaving. And then I have a little bit of that aquarium gravel that I picked up at the dollar store. So I'm just gonna try and scoop some out, I guess. Oh, okay, let's not do that. Okay, don't look at my armpit. I'm so conscious. I don't know, I feel like I have not nice armpits from, why am I talking about this for real? Why? I have not nice armpits from just like years of waxing and shaving and doing all the things that you do to an armpit. And I have like all these scars and stuff. I don't really care, like, I don't know. I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, if there's a little hair in there, I'm just like, oh, ew. Like, honestly, I just, you know, it's 2023. Give it a rest, okay? But I don't know. I don't really like armpits. I don't really like looking at other people's armpits unless they're Ariana Grande's armpits. And I don't like the idea of people looking at mine. I feel like it looks so much cuter already with the gravel and a little bit of stratum, which is fine. I might get this stratum out of here because I kind of want to do leca down at the bottom of this terrarium and then do soil on the top. But it's going to be weird. I have this weird mix now of gravel and stratum and I don't want to throw it away. So I guess I'll just use it as a topper for plants now. I like this gravel because it's really, really light. And, you know, it's still like sort of breathable. You just don't want to do a super thick layer. You just want to like make sure you disperse it so that it's covering the soil without having to do a super thick layer. But I just find that it makes your plants like that you're putting on display so much nicer if you like just top it with a little bit of rocks or top it with a little bit of like, I don't know, like sheet moss or just that decorative moss that you can literally get at the dollar store. It just changes the whole vibe, you know. My only concern is hopefully this Dichondra can still sort of find that humidity underneath the rock so that it can root into the substrate and just kind of keep trailing and fill this in. But also hopefully this doesn't die. But I do really, really like it more now with the pebbles, and I think it just needs a little something, like a little mushroom or just something to kind of bring it, make it look a little bit more styled, I guess. But okay, done with that. Gosh, why did I do that? Why did I just shake it until it came out? I'm trying to think. So I need to put all of this into something. Let's put it into here. This will be my new plant topper. Stratum and gravel. Very, very expensive topper. Oh, I still have the little leaf in here from when I tried to save my fish. So sad. It's a lot of stratum. Okay. I don't want to shake the camera. I always do that. I need more Windex. Right there. Sweet spot. Sweet spot. Okay. I don't need to clean the bottom because we're just putting leca and soil down there. I just want to clean the sides off a little bit. Alright, let's start with some leca, and luckily I just ordered another bag of leca with Lauren, a massive bag, so I don't need to be stingy with my my leca. I've been using it so sparingly because I only got like 2 small bags, and I'm trying to stay clean here. 1 for my sanity, and 2 because I'm filming another repot video right after this, and I don't want it to be a big fat disaster before I start filming that one. What was I doing? Oh, leca. I'm opting for sort of the same mix as my rabbit's foot fern aeroid mix with that's a little bit denser, and I'm literally just using this organic potting mix. I'm hoping it's not too acidic for these plants, but I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, so I've got sort of enough leca down at the bottom that I can always keep some water down here because I don't want this plant to like dry out ever, I don't think. As long as I'm giving it, you know, enough light to photosynthesize. It's my hope. I don't know where this is going. Definitely not in the plant room though. Okay, I think my thought, because I kind of want to cover this little black piece back here, I think I'm going to plant it sort of in this corner. and just let it grow along here, and then maybe I'll put stuff in the front. So I'm gonna pile a little bit of soil higher here. Okay, so I'm gonna go like that and kind of create this little pocket for it. And then this thing is sopping wet, which is fine because it's just going straight in soil anyway. Oh, I forgot I used hydrogen peroxide, so I'm gonna give this a good rinse. I think I can, whoa. I don't know which one's the front. I think this one would be the front. My gosh, it feels so delicate. Like even just looking at it would make it wither away and die. It's already sort of reaching the top, but it's okay because I can just keep pruning it back. But I sort of like it in this corner for right now. Also, keep in mind, I have no like actual terrarium experience. This is all just winging it, truly. And I think I'm gonna inoculate this one with great white. No specific reason, just kind of feel like it's the right thing to do. And then I think down here I can do the gravel and stratum, but I need some decor. Should I put it over or under? Oh my gosh. Maybe I can put my little elf guy in here. Would that be cute? I feel like little Bob here has been just sort of floating around different places without like a real home. Maybe he can go in here. Is it cute? Maybe we can do it like this. Sit his little booty down. Oh my gosh. Look at him. We need to get him like a book or something. Okay, and then I have rocks. So I have big black rocks, and then I have all of this stuff that I grabbed from the dollar store, like all this sort of preserved moss. I've got sheet moss, and then I've got whatever this is. But I don't know, I think these colors sort of don't vibe. I'm kind of feeling, even this I think is too green. I'm sort of liking the idea of the sheet moss with it. It feels a little bit more natural. And then also some of the rock, okay. I'm overstimulated. I'm gonna do a little bit of this sort of mix here and just get it over like the top layer to cover some of the soil. Oh. I wanted to give you guys a closer view. So here's the moss that I'm using, and it's just soaking in some water to kind of just bring a little bit of life back into it. So I'm gonna just try and place it very strategically, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm thinking this little piece here, which has kind of these like spiky looking pieces of moss, can go in the corner because it's already sort of shaped to go into the corner. I just want to like push all of this into here so it kind of looks like it's all made into one piece. Oh, it's so pretty once it comes back alive. Like, look how beautiful that is. I just love moss so much, and I just got this at the dollar store, you guys. I think I'll put this little guy here. Wait, maybe in the corner like that. I might shift things around. And I also have sort of an extension of this. I want to make it look cohesive and not just kind of randomly placed, and I wish I had a little bit more, but this is all I have right now. And then this is the last piece that I have. So floofy, and I think I can put it over here. I've got these rocks that I can maybe place kind of where the empty areas are, like actually near the fern. All right, that's the best I can do. I feel like it looks so bad, but anyway, you can see I've got all of the moss kind of laid out around the edges in the front, and then I'm just gonna try and fill some of this emptiness where you can see a little bit of soil with the black rocks. And then I have this little mushroom that I'm gonna add, oh, maybe next to him, right here. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, so now that you can kind of see how it's laid out inside, I'll bring you back down. Now I'm just gonna go back in with the stratum and just kind of trying to fill more here so that there's a little bit less of like a stark sort of layer between the two. I kind of want it to look more as one. I know it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but it's done and I'm so happy with it. I just need to give it a little spray now. And then I'm just going to be inoculating this with some great white. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I probably will have to give it like a little bit of a haircut up at the top. You can see some are already getting really wilty. Okay, so it begins. What was I gonna do? Oh, I just need to cover the top with some plastic. I'm just gonna use some of the lazy pull plastic and cut it to size, and I'll link this in the description. It's one of my most frequently asked questions. Just as an FYI, it does come in a pretty large pack, and it's not the cheapest, like what you would think it would be just to buy some plastic. So if you have friends that you can split with, I would recommend that, because, I mean, I don't know how many pulls you guys are making, but there's no way I'd be able to go through an entire package by myself. I'll eventually use maybe like some kind of super clear plastic so it doesn't look so tacky, but this will do for now. I think I eventually want to get a custom lid made for it. If this thing shows me that it's doing well and worth the investment, then I'll do it. But for now, this will do. And I'm gonna put this somewhere where it's getting some light right away, just because the roots are sopping wet. And I just watered the substrate and I don't want anything to rot. Oh, there's a big old gaping hole back here too. Forgot about that. That's the part where the filter goes. So hopefully if this thing continues to grow, it'll kind of fill in over here and cover this little black piece where the filter part goes. It's not perfect, but I would say not too bad. Not too bad for my first little real terrarium setup. So I need to go put this somewhere over there where it's getting some light before this thing dies. The last two are way easier than the ferns and Dichondra for sure. The question is, do I want to get this one out of LECA? Or should I just say, hey, it's doing fine, leave it the heck alone? Sorry, I'm trying to stay clean as I mentioned in my previous email. Okay. How about we start with the one that I know for sure needs to be repotted, which is the one that I'm not going to say the name of. I'm going to stick it in the same vessel because why not? And I'm just going to add this perlite back into my pond. Roots! Yay! I don't know how long she's been rooting this thing, but that was kind of fast. I think Ina's gonna send me more party pond. Party pond's my favorite. I love party pond. I feel like I'm trying to bring more color and character back into my life. I'm sort of over this beige thing. Like my house is too black and beige. Everything is so minimal and I don't know. I feel like it's not really a reflection of me anymore. I want to get some like fun pillows shaped like, I don't know, flowers or something, and maybe get like a really colorful rug. I'm just really over the minimal thing. It's not, I mean, it feels homey, but I feel like it also feels a little sad. Oh, fungus snap. I got it. All that to say, I like Party Pond more because it's more colorful and I like seeing it on my shelves more than this bleh looking pond from Lechuza Pond. I did just order another bag from Lechuza Pond because they finally restocked, but we had to order it from the States. I just really don't want to run out of pond anymore. It's like the biggest pain in my booty. Let's also inoculate this with Great White. The more I'm looking at it, I feel like I should just leave it. If anything, I'll like when on my trip, I'll move it to, maybe I'll just move it outside of a greenhouse. I don't really see why it's even in a greenhouse. Just because it's like rooting so well into it, I don't want to disturb it. Feeling pretty good about this. It's a pretty perlite heavy pond mix, but I do think it's going to retain more water now in my cabinet. So that's going to wrap it up. That's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. It was a little bit different. I did some repots that I'm not really familiar with in terms of the plants. I will definitely let you know how things go. Fingers crossed all of these ferns make it because I love them very much. I'm feeling a little bit better about the Dichondra more than the ferns, to be honest with you, but we're gonna say a little prayer. Thank you for watching another video. Thank you as always for being here. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it helps us a lot on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And I will see you in the next one.